Passive and active voice. You know that there are two ways to construct sentences in English. It is either by passive voice or by the active voice. In fact, most of us know how to construct sentences in both passive and active voice. We use them quite often. However, we may not fully understand the rules of using the active and passive voice. We know how the sentence can be constructed differently, but we may not know that which type of conditions you should use the passive voice and under what circumstances active voice should be used. In these videos, we're going to discuss a bit on this. First, there are two types of writing, which is passive and active. The emphases are different. If you construct the sentence in the passive voice, the emphasis it will be the person or the object receiving the action. This is an example sentence for the passive voice. The data were analyzed. You know that the focus of the topic it will be the data. Somebody were analyzing the data. Now this somebody is not the emphasis or the purpose of the sentence. The focus now is the data. Then if you construct the sentence in the active voice, the emphasis it will be the person or object performing the action. Let's say now using the similar example here, we analyze the data. Now the team here it will focus at the we, which is not on the data. This is the most significant difference between the active and passive voice. You know that the passive voice are often preferred in the scientific research papers and reports. It is especially in the sections of materials and methods, as the emphasis is normally on the experiment and procedures rather than on the researchers. This is also attributed to the natures of the scientific research paper, that making it impersonal in order to demonstrate the importance of the facts and figures as well as the topic being discussed. These are some conditions for you to consider whether to use the active or the passive voice. First, you will need to consider the main topic of the sentence. Let us look at the example here. Wave energy is generated by the wind as it blows across the sea surface. The second sentence, wind generates wave energy when it blows across the sea surface. If you look at both examples here, it is as if they are referring to the same thing. At least both are talking about the wind that generates wave energy when it blows across the sea surface. However, when they are constructed differently in the mode of the passive and active voice, now the emphasis are different. When it is written in the passive voice, you are referring to the wave energies. That will be the main theme of your discussions. And when you are constructing the sentence in the active voice, you are referring to the wind. Most likely your entire paragraph is talking about the wind. Therefore, you will need to consider whether the emphasis of the paragraph is the wave energy or the wind and its relationship with the wave energy. This is very much dependent on the topic that you are discussing, where you want to put the emphasis. The second condition you need to consider it will be the other is unknown or irrelevant. As the passive voice, normally giving emphasis to the person or the object receiving the actions. That means it is not really concerned of the person or the object that performing the action. Sometimes you see the passive voice sentences giving you informations regarding the persons performing the actions, and most of the time it is not given. It actually doesn't matter when it is given or not given, as it is not the main emphasis anyway. If it is given, it will serve as the additional informations to the situations discussing. But when you're talking about the active voice, the person who is performing the actions become important. We are actually referring to that person, what he does, what he thinks, and so on and so forth. Let us look at the example here. The building was demolished in the 18th centuries. In this case, you know that the building has been demolished. It was demolished long time ago, which was in the 18th centuries. Most likely you are unable to trace who demolished the building. And in this case, the concern is not about who demolished the building. Now the focus will be the building, and the main message within the sentence it will be when it was demolished. Therefore, by looking at the sentence here, we do not know who is the actor, and most likely the person who constructs the sentence here is also not aware of the actor. Let us look at another example. Up to 90% of the energy in conventional light bulbs is wasted in the form of heat. In this case, we are talking about the light bulbs. It gives you information that up to 90% of the energy is wasted in the form of heat. In this case, the actor is irrelevant, which there is no actual actor there. Therefore, the passive voice it will be the right choice for the sentence.